In this question, they have given us that a plus b is 45 degrees. Now let me take tan on both sides. So tan a plus b is nothing but tan 45 degrees, which is nothing but your 1. And tan a plus b, use the formula tan a plus b, which is nothing but your tan a plus tan b, divided by 1 minus tan a tan b, which is equals to 1. Just cross multiply. So we are getting tan a plus tan b is equals to 1 minus tan a tan b, right? Take this tan a tan b in the left hand side. So it's tan a plus tan b plus tan a tan b is equals to 1. Okay. Now I am adding 1 on both sides. I'm adding 1 on both sides. So in the left hand side we are going to get 1 plus tan a, and from this 2 if I take tan b common, we are getting 1 plus tan a, which is equals to 2. Therefore 1 plus tan a into 1 plus tan b is equals to 2. Proved. Is it clear? This is what is required to prove in the first part of the question, and that exactly what we have done. Now they have said, hence find the value of tan 22.5 degrees. Is it clear? So hence find means you have to utilize this result to find out the value of tan 22.5 degree. No other method can be used here. Okay, look it carefully. A plus b is 45 degrees. We have to find out the angle what? 22.5 degrees. So which is exactly the half of 45 degrees. So for a time being, let us take a equals to b. Then it becomes nothing but 22.5 degrees. And we have proved that 1 plus tan a into 1 plus tan b equals to 2. Now since a and b are equal, so we can say 1 plus tan a whole square is 2. Therefore 1 plus tan a will give you what? Plus minus root 2, and tan a, which is nothing but your tan 22.5 degrees, will give you plus minus root 2 minus 1. Is it clear? Now observe carefully, 22.5 degree is an angle which is in the first quadrant. In first quadrant all ratios are positive. So we cannot take the value of tan 22.5 degree as minus root 2 minus 1, because that will give you a negative value which will not satisfy tan 22.5 degree, because tan 22.5 degree is always positive since 22.5 degree is in the first quadrant. Therefore your tan 22.5 degree, the value of tan 22.5 degree is root 2 minus 1. Is it clear? Now I will suggest all the students to remember this value. It's a very important value which will be used frequently in trigonometry different chapters. So you must remember that tan 22.5 degree is nothing but root 2 minus 1. But have you understood how I got the sum? How I find out the value of tan 22.5 degree from this part? Is it clear to everybody? Now in this problem, let us start with LHS. They have given us in the left hand side 1 by sine x minus a into sine x minus b. Now it's a very important point, very important question, because this form is used a lot in integral calculus also. So just remember this. So whenever there is a product of sine in the denominator and there is x minus a and x minus b, or whatever, x minus alpha, x minus beta, whatever it is. Now this kind of problems are solved in this way. When there is the product of sine, always remember this, whenever there is a product of sine sine or cos cos, always take 1 by sine b minus a in the denominator, and in the numerator you take sine b minus a, I am writing it in different fashion, x minus a minus x minus b. See the style of writing the numerator. Sine x minus a, sine x minus b. Again I am mentioning, remember it very carefully. if there is a product of sine, sine, yeah, cos, cos, always take in the denominator as sine. But if there is sine and cos over here, then always take cos in the denominator. Is it clear now? Okay. Now, how we will be benefited by taking this? Look it carefully. Sine A minus B, if I use the formula, sine A cos B minus cos A sine B divided by sine X minus A sine X minus B. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, now what you will do, you just separate it. You just separate it. So we are going to get sine X minus A into cos X minus B divided by sine X minus A into sine X minus B. Sine X minus A, sine X minus A goes off. So we are left with cot X minus B. Is it clear? And for the second part, look it carefully. Sine X minus B, sine X minus B, it will go off. Okay. So we are left with what? Cot X minus A. Is it clear? Have you understood this? So we have proved. This is exactly what they have said to prove, and this is the part which is in your right hand side. Is it clear? So have you understood this problem? Okay.